Do you need a social media marketing strategy guide for freelancers and small business owners? Then stick to the end of today's show. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about a very interesting topic, social media marketing strategy, and how you can apply that if you are a freelancer or a small business owner or just a business owner in general. How do you create a social media marketing strategy? Now, when we talk about strategy, you have to understand that you have on one end a social media marketing strategy, and on the other end a social media marketing plan. Those are two different things, although they interconnect in reality. I will talk about those two in this show. When you think about social media marketing strategy, I want you to think about two things. You want to think about your motives, your goals, your objectives. That's one category of things. And you want to think about your resources. So you want to have a linkage, you want to have a connection between your resources and the goals that you want to pursue. This is very important because if you want to do it right in the long run, you need to have a plan. You need to have the resources to implement that plan. One of the simplest ways to create your social media marketing strategy is to ask yourself what specialists call the 5 W's plus the 1 H. 5 W's, I'm talking here about why, who, what, where, when, and how. So why do you want to be on social media in the first place? Who is your target audience? You got to think about that. Who are you trying to attract to your business, to your brand, to your organization? What are you going to share? Being on social media is kind of cool, but what are you going to share? Where are you going to share it? You have major, what I call the top tier social media, such as the Facebook, the YouTube of the world, the LinkedIn, and then you have the lower tier, the second tier. So you got to really be careful about, not careful, you got to be thoughtful about the kind of platform you want to be on. Where are you going to share? So that's what it is. And when are you going to share? What kind of regularity do you want to put into your social media strategy? What kind of frequency? And the last, that's for the 5 W's. And then you have the 1 H, that's the how. How are you going to share? So to help you create strategy, to help you create your strategy, I'm going to break it down so you understand the components of each part. And what you want to do here is that you want to be, please keep in mind what I mentioned, the 5 W's plus the H. Why, who, what, where, when, and how. So let's just tackle the first W, why. Why does your business want to be on social media in the first place? It's not about just being on social media because everybody is on social media or your competitors are on social media. You got to be very careful about what goals you are pursuing, what strategies you want to implement while going on social media. The bottom line here is that, again, as I said earlier, you want to make sure your social media marketing strategy is in line with your resources, but also with your goals, right? Because the last thing you want is, think about it. The last thing you want is spending money on something that doesn't fit with your strategy. So you've got to be clear there. So are you on social media to promote your products, to drive traffic to your website, or to serve your customers, or a combo of all three? A lot of experts say that you have multiple reasons why a small business owner or a freelancer or an independent contractor wants to be on social media. You might want to increase brand awareness, drive traffic to your website, generate new leads, grow revenue. In other words, you want to increase signups or sales, for instance. You want to increase brand engagement. You want to increase the exposure that your brand has vis-a-vis the public. You may want to be on social media to build a community around your business. Again, it depends on your objectives. It depends on your industry, but it also depends on the kind of goals you have. Are you on social media to provide social customer service? Nowadays, with apps such as Facebook Messenger, organizations are able to link to provide something called real-time customer service. Are you on social media to increase mentions in the press? Do you want to boost your media coverage? This could be a great opportunity also. You could also be on social media to listen to conversations around your brain. Nowadays, this is kind of cool. I mean, we all know about the fact that big companies have what they call scouts or quote unquote spies on social media. For instance, you have YouTube. YouTube has what I call scouts on platforms such as Reddit and Quora, because they're trying to really make sure that they are listening to conversations around the brain, listening to people's complaints, people's issues, and solve those issues quickly. Let's talk now about, so after talking about why your business wants to be on social media in the first place, you want to think about your target audience. Who are those people you're trying to reach? Who are those individuals you're trying to convert from prospects into your customers? You want to drag them, you want to draw them rather into the sales funnel. So you better know them. You need to know them. So once you have figured out your why, it is important to consider your target audience. Once you understand your target audience, you'll be able to answer questions on what. So what are you going to share? Where are you going to share? And when you are going to share? Because you got to know people you are sharing the stuff to. You got to know the people you are directing the message to before you can even send them anything. You need to know their desires, their aspirations, their dreams, their hopes, their needs. So there are many different ways of building marketing personas, and you need to have a marketing persona. What is a marketing persona? Marketing persona is, as the word implies, the epitome, the personification, if you will, of your ideal customer. Maybe your ideal customer is a 23-year-old woman working in Washington, D.C. and who likes to go to happy hours every Thursday, likes to shop online, that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of giving you here an idea of what a marketing persona is. You need that. And to identify the marketing persona of your target audience, of your ideal customer, you got to go back to what we said before. The 5 W's and the H is a great way. So 5 W's. So who is your ideal customer? I'm talking here about location, salary, gender, age, job title. What is your ideal customer interested in that you can provide? Is it entertainment, educational content, information on new products, case studies? Where does your ideal customer hang out online? Is it on Facebook, Instagram, or niche platforms? When does your ideal customer look for the type of content you can provide? Is it on weekends? Is it during the daily commute? That kind of stuff. So why do they consume your content in the first place? Is it because they're trying to be healthy? They're trying to be richer? They're trying to get better at their job? Do they want to be more productive? And how do they consume your content? Do they watch videos? Do they read social media posts? So I'm giving you here a plurality of factors you need to look at. And once you're able to understand that plurality, you can actually craft the best social media marketing strategy for your business, for your freelance gig. I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are also having a conversation here around the social media marketing, and I'm giving you the best strategy, how to craft a strategy that will be sustainable, that will be in sync with your business. And if you love this kind of content, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we drop a new show. We drop this kind of shows every single day, rain or shine. I want to talk to you now about what are you going to share. So I spoke to you about who is your target audience, right? Why does your business want to be on social media in the first place? So those are the 2 W's that should be part of your social media marketing strategy. Now let's talk about the 3rd W, and that is what are you going to share? Content is very important. Content is key here. And when I'm talking to you about content, please remember I'm talking content across the board, from picture to illustration to vector to infographic to video, the whole 9 yard. But you have to be very careful about what you share, and you have to be careful about making sure that what you share is in sync with what your audience is looking forward to. Right? So, what are you going to share, and why are you sharing it? For example, what goals and challenges does your ideal customer have, and how can you help solve those goals and challenges? We understand, for instance, that if you are in the let's say you are in the fitness industry, you are in the health and fitness industry, and you want to help your audience get better, your audience members get better, live a more fulfilled life, lose weight, or eat better. You can't just give tips in an article. I'm not saying a fitness blog is bad. It's fantastic, but for those things where people need to see, it's just a lot better to have a video or even pictures. But for fitness, video just works a lot better. Now, if you contrast that with finance, for example, or psychology, for example, but those fields are more, I would say, those are niches that are more intellectual. So the person doesn't need to, the reader, the audience member doesn't need to watch a video. He or she can read. He or she can listen to a podcast, right? And this is not something that is possible with the fitness content, where you're teaching audience members something, where they need to see you. You know, think about you doing like a fitness routine, and you're just saying it over the phone, or you're saying it on radio. It's not the same thing. I want to talk to you now also, folks, about where are you going to share the content. And this is the fourth part of your strategy, where when it comes to the location of content sharing, I'm talking here about the platforms, the social media platforms, right? And as I said earlier, you have a tier system when it comes to social media. So you have the first tier, you have the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter, the LinkedIn of the world. The second tier, those will be your niche platforms. So it is important to understand that you want to focus on the social media that fits your audience member. You want to share where they're hanging out at. People are talking nowadays about TikTok, but if TikTok is more geared toward the young generation. I'm talking about the millennials and the Generation Z. So if you are selling, let's say you're selling retirement products, or you are a financial advisor, I don't think that you want to use TikTok unless it is part of your strategy. This could be true. Don't get me wrong. It really depends on your strategy at the end of the day, right? But if you're selling, let's say you are an investment banker, or you are selling something that is geared toward I would say an adult audience, you're not going to TikTok. You would rather go to platforms such as LinkedIn, for instance, or Twitter, or YouTube. So you have to think about that. You have to think about it. You have to think about making sure that your content is shared on platforms that match your audience members' desires, interests, aspirations, dreams, and hopes. In general, and this is something that is important here, in general, Facebook and Instagram will get you covered. And if you are on the crafty side, if you're on the creative side, you can add Pinterest to the list. So those big five, the big four, the big five, it really depends on how you look at them. Those will get you covered. Let's now talk about timing. The timing of the sharing. When are you going to share? And this is the fifth W in your strategy, in your social media marketing strategy. So when are you going to share it? Timing is kind of important, because the last thing you want is, you don't want to post at a time when your audience is not online, and then by the time they come online, you have content from your competitor that is shared and they don't have time for your content unless you are a biggie in the industry and your audience really loves you, they are engaged and they want to share your content. So you have to be very careful there. You have to understand if your audience hangs out on social media over the weekend, during the weekdays, during their commute to work, or around lunchtime or in the evening, and you have to customize the content sharing. You have to customize all the strategy around their timing. Again, remember, you are serving a client. You are serving clients. It's not about you. It's not about your brand. It's not about your freelance gig. It's not about your small business. It's about your customers. It's about the viewers. It's about your audience. So you need to adapt your agenda to the audience members' agendas, and that's kind of important. And one thing I want to say on this is that you need to think very deeply about how sharing the timing, how the timing of the share will impact engagement. What I'm trying to say here is that someone can be online, you can have an audience member who is online at, let's say, in the evening. They may read or watch your video, but are they in the best shape, physiologically speaking or psychologically speaking, for that matter, to engage? In engagement here, I'm talking about liking your content, sharing your content, commenting on your content, and other interactions that they may take depending upon the platform. Because you want not only your content to be viewed, to be shared, but also to be liked and commented on. That shows interest. And here, a lot of folks get it twisted when we talk about engagement on social media, for instance, and everybody wants to get a like. But what they don't understand is that on YouTube, for example, whether you have a like or dislike for YouTube, for the YouTube's algorithm, this is an engagement. If you have 1,000 dislikes and 10 likes for YouTube, it just shows engagement. It means that your content is triggering interest, is triggering reactions from the audience. As long as you're not talking about something illegal or something controversial, you're fine. Your content will stay on the platform and driving traffic. Keep driving traffic. That's all you need. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation today around a social media marketing strategy, and I've already given you the five W's. Now let's talk about the H. The 5 W's, just kind of recap here. We're talking about why do you want to be on social media? Who is your target audience? What are you going to share? Where are you going to share? And when are you going to share? Let's now talk about the why, the H, the how. How are you going to share? Now, there are two ways. You are, when we talk about how you're going to share content on social media, we're talking about two things here. First, the how means the medium through which you will share. And the second how means who will do the share on your behalf. Now, the medium through which you will share, those are the platforms. Those are the platforms that, as I spoke about earlier. Now, you can have an omni-platform strategy, an omni-channel strategy, or a pluri-channel strategy. Omni-channel means you are sharing on one social media, Facebook, for instance. If you have a pluri-channel strategy, you are sharing on multiple platforms. Let's now talk about who will do the share on your behalf, because when I'm talking about how you're going to share, we need to know who is responsible for the sharing. Now, you can do this manually in-house, so you can have a team in the company that takes care of it, or if you are a freelancer, you're doing it yourself. You can also have a software-driven in-house sharing program. So you buy software from a third party, and you're able to use that software program to share your content on social media. You can also outsource the whole thing to a social media marketing agency. So if you don't have the resources or don't have the time for it, you can outsource everything to a social media marketing strategy, which in turn will take care of the sharing, will take care of the engagement strategy on social media. You can even outsource that part of your social media marketing strategy to one or several freelancers. So you can go on sites as diverse as Fiverr or Upwork to find social media marketing strategists, freelancers that is, who can help you do that. You can also reach out to influencers. You can go to Instagram and find influencers or Facebook influencers and try to have a deal with them whereby they will share your content. You can also share your content through sponsorships. Now those are more costly, but it all depends, again, going back to what I said earlier, depends on your strategy, depends on what's important for you here. You can use affiliate marketing, or you can also use just regular content. In other words, instead of sharing on social media, you can share content on your website. You can have a blog where you write content on your website and drive traffic from your website to the social media platform, and vice versa. Okay, so this is the deal, folks. Just want to quickly recap here. I spoke to you about strategy, right? Because a strategy is where you are headed. A plan is how you will get there. So I explained to you how to the main component of the social media marketing strategy that you need. A plan is how you get there. Now the plan should be based also on the 5 W's and the H. So developing a social media marketing strategy is probably one of the hardest things to do because it requires you to step back and look at the big picture. So the thing here is you have to shift your mindset away from your daily tasks, the daily routine of, for example, scheduling and replying to comments, to higher level thinking. You have to now think at a higher level. But that higher level thinking, guess what? It is greatly rewarding. It is helpful. It is necessary. It is the foundation upon which you can build a great social media marketing strategy, so that if you're not even whenever you're not posting content, people are still replying. People are still checking you out. People are still checking your content out. All right. Good luck on your social media marketing strategy. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.